We're moving along here. I also like this touch. It's not really a big thing, I guess, but you can see, you know, when they go over a new country or nation or whatever, they have their own architecture and CG. I like that. I mean, the way that all of the people contributed to the game, you know, like the music guy gave, you know, shade. I'm assuming it's shade. I don't actually know, but I assume it's shade because it's all really good music. You know, this is like this is the Gamerican theme. This is his take on Gamerica through sound. It's nice. Like the artist drew the background in a way that represents America to them in a futuristic way. They did that with Ares too. And I like that. I like that stuff. You know, America is really modern. They don't have a lot of history. It's not like Europe, which has, you know, like Rome and all that stuff is there. It has a really rich history. You know, Japan, Rome, China. Well, Greece is kind of shitty now. I mean, compared to its past history, it's not shitty. It's just a regular country. But, you know, like in the past it was number one. Now it's far from that. Is the point I'm trying to make. I know I have people who watch from Greece. And I talk to them. I haven't for a while, though. But anyway. I mean, there are just a lot of pessimistic things to happen in this game for these countries that, you know, aren't Japan, basically. Aren't Japan or Dogutsu. That's fine, though. I mean, it's like that in real life, too. I mean, I don't really know that much about Italy from World War II. They did a lot of mean things, but, you know, I'll just stop where I'm at. You know, like Japan, they all did a lot of bad stuff. America did a lot of bad stuff too, but it's not highlighted because they won the war. You know, if America lost the war and Japan won the war, it would be, you know, the fact that the Japanese were sent to internment camps in America would be magnified 20-fold. That would be a huge thing, you know. But because America won, it's diminished. Stuff like that. You know, it's diminished a little bit. You still learn about it. I don't have much to say here. As far as the girls go, Hannah Rock has my least favorite design. I don't like the way she looks at all. Like, if I'm going for brown girls, I don't necessarily like big-breasted, regular brown girls, you know? You want brown elves, or white-haired brown girls, or DFC brown girls. Those are my favorite. Well, you know, like big-breasted Amazon brown girls are fine too. That's a different thing. Anyway, maybe I'm just confused. I don't know. I don't like Hannah Rock's design. Carol is my favorite one. I like her design the most. She's actually the most important one by far as routes go. She plays a role in a couple. And, you know, well, we'll see how it goes, shall we? And this person, Ku, I think her name is, was cute. Ku was one of my favorite girls on the console until I found out her secret, and then she became second favorite, hands down. So, how's that sound? An arrested noble is bailed out. I don't know, I think Britain's nobility's been pretty good as of late, hasn't it? It's like Japan. The emperor in Japan doesn't do shit. It's just a symbolic figurehead now, I believe. Right? Emperor, I think, is what I'm looking for. Prime Minister is the leader. I don't actually know. I don't know that much about Japan's current political structure. So, I guess I won't talk about it. But yeah, I fucked up in one of the parts. I talked about Elizabeth and stuff. And she's referenced in this game as Sarah's mother, but I thought Sarah was Elizabeth because I hadn't played for a while. But I remedied that. Yeah, I think John Lawrence is based on someone, I haven't looked that up recently, so I'm not going to talk about that. Montgomery is based on a very famous leader in World War II for Britain. Probably their most noteworthy general. So, I got a little bit to say about him. John Lawrence, maybe, if I do a little bit of research. I'll have more to say about him, too. But, you know. I like his design, by the way. I'll say that now. John Lawrence has a really cool design. He looks imposing. The way he's drawn, he looks imposing. He looks final boss tier, don't you agree? But he's not over the top. You know, he's got the Sephiroth hair. But he's not, you know, he's not stupid. He's not like overly flashy or anything. I really like his design. I don't like Montgomery's at all. I think he looks stupid. His hair looks like shit. He looks like an idiot. I don't know why I'm being so harsh to him. He's not final boss tier. Like John Lawrence, final boss tier. You don't see him much in the game. Montgomery, when you fight him in the field, it's pretty easy. Pretty easy win, in my opinion. I think you get the jump on him though, so that's how that goes. We'll see. Shall we? But they talk about Japan here, so you know that they're aware of what's going on, is basically what's happening. Oh well. I don't want to like get ahead of myself here. That's what I'm trying to regulate. I'm trying to regulate getting ahead of myself. A lot of people think that Britain had a delayed response during World War II. I don't know about that. But, you know, again, I'm going back to history because I don't have enough units. You know, I don't have enough admirals personally in this game yet to give good opinions on them all. I don't have that much to talk about. I can talk about the XP system, but it's weird. You know, it's a weird time to do that, so I don't want to do it. I don't want to, you know, if someone wants information on the experience system in this game, talking about the experience system in a part that was all dialogue anyway is stupid. I don't... you know, maybe at the beginning I could have done it, but I missed my chance. So, I'll do it later. Hopefully you can understand why I'm not talking as much about the gameplay when we're having scenes like this. And I'm covering other things than I want to talk about. Nelson might be based on someone. In the game, I think he dispatches now to go and attack Japan, and a couple turns down the road you'll encounter him. A couple, maybe like 10 turns. It's a while. So yeah, also, by the way, all of these people are obtainable as admirals. I guess I should state that now, because it doesn't seem like they would be, you know. But they are. You can get Nelson, I likely will. He's a very easy admiral to obtain, actually. Meanwhile, Sarah... I can't say that I've ever obtained her. I'm sure that you can, I just don't know if I have. Most of them are. In fact, I think there were admirals in this game I thought you could not obtain that you can. So, some of them are a real pain. I'll go over them though. So don't worry about that. I guess I will skip ahead a bit. Covered what was necessary. Nelson and John know each other, they're good friends, and this girl, let me find her right here. Mary, she's kind of like, well, she didn't have much to say, so I guess I'll talk more about her later on when she shows up. This bit. Because I'm next to it now, it's going to trigger an event. Once you capture the territory, once you capture Manila, it starts an event in Melee's Tiger. And it's a rebel outbreak in Melee's Tiger, and I don't know if it's based on anything real. It may well be. But there's a lady here, I forgot her name, it's another brown girl. She starts a revolt, and if you do not capture this star system in... well, I don't know the exact turn count, but let's say like 3 to 5 turns. She dies, you lose her as a unit. She's an okay unit. I use her in my like defensive fleet. Usually in this game, I'll form 2 fleets, maybe 3, depending on how things are going. One that, you know, trailblazes and captures new territory, and one that floats around my main star systems and the borders and blockade stuff. And I wish I had the map available right now to show you this, and I should skip this. This is not interesting to watch or read. Percival, I'll talk about him later on. I'll let this go here. My bad. I lost myself. Usually up by Japan is where I'll leave my stuff for a defensive fleet, because it makes the most sense. You know, it just makes the most sense. Like, if you push too far into the UHOS, you'll have to defend against good-sized fleets that try and retake UHOS territory, and you'll have to move all the way back and defend against American shit. It's not really worth it. There are a couple of good choke points. One of them is Hawaii, I think. for America. But then once you take Hawaii, shit happens, and I don't want to do that. Yet, anyway. I mean, it's still really early in the game. It's like, what is this, turn 5 or 6? So I got a lot of time left to do things. And here, you know, it's... I guess I can talk a little bit about this, but much more talk about this is going to happen later on when I get to Indo-Curry and stuff. When Britain had colonies like this, they did use conscripts from like India and things to help defend them. Like, it was local defenses. They weren't very good. There's more to talk about that later. Because it was important. And it's weird, you know, like, why would someone from India want to... You know, why would they want to defend the British colony, you know? Like, they were just like a resource. The people were a resource. It was really a bad time for them, you know? I mean, I say India, I think it was all of India. I have to fact check this. But all of India was mixed rule. Like, it was all of British and Indian rule. It was a very weird conflict. And I think that Britain finally left India, and it was really weird. It was a really awkward time for those countries. I have to fact check, but I know that Britain had a very big role in Indian history. So that's how that goes. Percival, I'll talk about him in the next part. He's pretty much done as far as this goes when I actually attack them. Rashahara, that's her name. She might be based on someone, I gotta look it up. Again, if you guys know these people are based on people before I know myself, you can mention it in the parts. I don't care. You can mention it in the comments and enlighten everybody else. I'll still probably talk about it, so it'll be repeated information from your comments into my videos, but, you know, that's fine. It's not like it hurts anything. And now they talk about France. I guess I'll let it go. God, I don't even know that Roman numeral. What is it, Louis the 30-something? I don't know what L means. I don't know what L means, okay? I don't know what the Roman numeral L means. Don't care. Maybe it's 100, so like 130th or something. This is distant future in space, so that wouldn't be unreasonable. Anyway, he looks like shit, and that's intended. Like, the way he looks disgusts me. That's fine. Louis is a common name for some French king. I don't know. I don't know much about medieval French history and shit like that. I find it kind of boring. Like, Crusade history, Dark Age history, you know, all that stuff is interesting, but I don't know the kings or the figureheads or, you know, a lot of that stuff. So, which is fine too. You know, that's not really relevant in this game too much, except I'm sure his name is a reference to an older monarch. But yeah, in this game, for some reason, France is portrayed as like a peaceful nation. They talk about this later on in the game and why it's like that, you know, for the game's sake. But in real life, I don't think that was happening in France. You know, like, World War I happened after the Napoleonic Wars, and France was in decline by then, I'm pretty sure. Heavy decline. I should, you know, restate. Heavy decline. And they built the Maginot Line. Maginot? I don't know how it's pronounced, I guess. They built the Maginot Line as a defense, because... Well, I'll talk about that later on, too. I'm getting ahead of myself. But it's important, and I think they mention it in this part, that's why I bring it up. Because that was their thing. That was like, France says, yeah, we got the Maginot Line, we're good. Doesn't matter what Nazi Germany does, we got the Maginot Line. And, well, if you know what Maginot means now... well... And yeah, this guy talks about peacefulness and whatever, and... I mean... I couldn't kill another person, and I wouldn't. Pretty much regardless of who that person was or what they did, I don't think I could kill them. I've only ever felt hate, like true unbridled hatred, for a very select few people in life. And I can only think of maybe one or two in my history that I would have, you know, if they had died, I would have been like, well, whatever. Fuck them, you know? I don't hold grudges really legitimately. Like, I mean, I'll remember if someone fucked me over and I'll hold it against them, but, you know, I always give someone another chance, even if they fucked me over in an extreme way. I'm open to giving them another chance. So, I'm just that kind of person. Like, I don't like war from a personal point. Like, real, true war, I think it's horrible. And I don't want to necessarily go into that stuff now, but I mentioned that because France in this game is portrayed as a pacifist country. I don't even know if that exists in real life. I'm sure it does. It's just a country that doesn't have an adequate military, so they're like, we're going to be pacifist and ally ourselves with people who have good militaries. Basically what's going on. I mean, there are people who think America should be pacifist. They're fucking stupid. You can't do that. It doesn't work like that. So. I'm getting out of breath. I'll talk about that later on. This plays a couple times. It's just Rashara doing rebel activity to remind you that it's happening, and she's like, oh, I sure hope we can do this in time. And eventually they'll get suppressed if you don't, like I mentioned before. I don't have much more to say about that. I have a little bit to say about her, which I will in the next part, or whenever I get to her. Let's see what this is. I don't remember what this is, so I'm reading here. Let's see, she talks about the uprising in Manila. Okay, not a big deal. They talk about getting in there. Again, it's like a reminder to the player, hey, without explicitly stating it, That's another thing that I like about LSsoft games. When shit like that's happening, they... Well, let me start over from the beginning so I can explain this before the part's over. In modern games, they don't do this anymore. Like, I will just use this as an example. In Malaise Tiger, there is a revolt going on. This girl is leading the revolt. If the revolt gets suppressed, she dies. The game reminds you about this, by triggering the event. The event is happening in Malaise Tiger. You're notified of this. But that alone shouldn't be an indicator for you, hey, I need to be the person who helps fix this rebellion. I need to go save them. That's not a good enough thing to indicate that to you. It is for some people with good intuition, but all people, not necessarily, because your faction in the game isn't aware of it. So then they tell your faction, and then you have explicitly learned from your main advisor, hey, there's a rebellion going on. We can have a hand in this, so we should go there. Games nowadays just say, there's a revolt going on in Malaise Tiger. You need to go there and liberate the girl, or she will die in 3 turns. And that's shitty. I'll see you in the next part.